What's going on, guys? So in this video, I'm going to be asking GameStop if I should buy an Xbox Series X or a PS5. So basically what I'll be doing is calling a few different GameStops and posing the question to them. I'll say that I'm looking for a console for Christmas and ask them if I should buy an Xbox Series X or a PS5. And I'll basically just let them lead the conversation, take it over, kind of give me some recommendations. They might ask me some questions like, what kind of games do you like, that sort of thing. And I'll kind of just go with the flow. And basically when I'm talking to them, I'm going to act like I don't really know anything about the consoles and kind of just stay unbiased and see what they have to say. I might ask them a few questions as well, like, is there a trade-in deal, or do you think you guys are going to have stock at Christmas, that sort of thing.
Thank you for calling GameStop, where we have the best selection and deals on video games, consoles, and collectibles. Want to know more? Press 1 now to speak to an associate, or check out our current specials by visiting GameStop.
Alright, so here's the first ringing.
Hello, thank you for calling GameStop and Sanger, where you can trade in your technical devices or product and store them online. My name is Mariah. How can I help you today?
Hey Mariah, I'm looking to buy a console for Christmas, and I'm looking for an expert's opinion on if I should buy an Xbox Series X or a PS5. Wondering if you have any recommendations.
Personally, I'm more of an Xbox fan versus a PlayStation, but I think in terms of, do you have any consoles at all?
Yeah, I actually have an Xbox One and a PS4, but it's been a few years since I've played them. Kind of been out of the loop for the last few years.
It's okay. Do you have controllers for the Xbox?
I do, yes.
So the great thing about the new Xbox, which is not something that's for the PS5, is that the new Xbox, your controllers will work for the new Xbox as well.
Oh, okay.
For the PS5, you have to get a PS5 controller.
Okay, gotcha. That will save some money.
I believe there's more games that will be forward compatible for the Xbox than there will be for the PlayStation.
Okay. Like backwards compatible games? Is that what you're saying?
So yeah, no, well, technically be forward compatible, because if you have games right now for the Xbox, there are some of the games more games on the Xbox will be forward compatible for the Xbox Series X than it would be if you got a PlayStation. I know with Sony, they're pretty nitpicky on which games are going to be able to be forward compatible. I believe only the new releases, and only some of the new releases will be forward compatible.
Okay, gotcha. And I know right now stock is probably pretty tight on those consoles. Do you think you guys are going to have any kind of stock around Christmas time?
We probably are, because it's a holiday season, and I know for a fact we're going to have Black Fridays coming up soon. We also have layaway. I don't know if we're going to have the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation available for layaway just yet, because they haven't released yet. But we are going to have a Black Friday sale this year, and so I'm pretty sure they're going to send us in more shipments for the Xbox.
Okay, nice. Do you have any, or do you think you'll have any trade-in deals, like trading up the Xbox One for a Series X or something
Absolutely.
like that?
Yes. Let me see. I don't know if later on throughout the month we're going to get better trading deals, but I believe right now, let's see. It's hard to tell right now, because I think the only trading deals I see are for the Switches.
Gotcha.
So let me see. But I know for the Xbox, do you have the Xbox One S or One X?
I have the original Xbox One, the big fat one.
I believe trading value for that would be about $175.
Okay.
Depending. So you could always put it in towards that.
Okay.
Let me see.
Gotcha.
Yeah, as of right now, I don't see any trading deals going towards the consoles, I think, because they haven't released just yet, but more than likely they will, because we had a trading deal for the Switches. And if we don't have any kind of trading deals, regardless, you will have a trading value if it's not damaged, about $175 for your Xbox that you could apply towards your whichever console you decide to get.
Okay, nice. That's pretty good. All right. Well, I think that definitely helps me out. I appreciate your time, and have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, guys. So that was a pretty good conversation. She was, I think she was a little biased. She went straight for the Xbox. I didn't get a ton of information. I think she made some good points about the Xbox controllers being compatible with, or the Xbox One controllers being compatible with the Xbox Series X. That is a thing I haven't really thought about in a while, but that is nice. It was interesting she called it forward compatible instead of backwards compatible, which I guess it really depends on which perspective you put it. Like if you're thinking about an Xbox One being forward compatible with a Series X, I guess it makes sense, but usually people put it in terms of a Series X being backwards compatible with Xbox One. I am impressed with GameStop's customer service sometimes. I think when you ask a pretty candid question like that, they're usually pretty good. But let's go ahead and find somebody else to call. All right, so let's go ahead and call our second location and see what they think. We have one vote for the Xbox Series X so far.
Thank you for calling GameStop, where we have the best selection and deals on video games, consoles, and collectibles. In an effort to ensure the safety of our
And I
guests
guess most of
and
these
associates,
places
GameStop
have this
now
robot
offers
call.
the convenience of delivery at door for orders placed online to be picked up at your local store.
I think if I press 1, I can skip it.
Press 1 now to speak
Yep.
to an associate or check out our current...
Thanks for calling GameStop in the Fashion Fair Mall. This is Joseph. How can I help you?
Hey Joseph, I'm looking to buy a console around Christmas this year, and I'm looking for an opinion on if I should buy an Xbox Series X or a PS5. Wondering if you could help me out.
So, honestly, it's more of like a choice of what kind of games you want. Do you like the story games and everything? Do you like Spider-Man and all that?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a few years since I've really gamed a whole lot, but I do like the role-playing games, sometimes some sports games, that sort of thing.
Okay, because PS5 has some really good exclusive games. Like they have like the Spider-Man game that's coming out. They have the God of Wars. That one's there's a new God of War coming out right now. Whereas Xbox has a lot of multiplayer games that are exclusive, like Gears of War, Halo, that type of stuff. And if you were into the role-playing games, Microsoft, which owns Xbox, did just buy out Bethesda, which makes like the Fallout games and the Elder Scrolls games like Skyrim and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So there's probably going to be some exclusives going to Xbox on that front. So if you were into the role-playing games, that's probably a better way to go is the Xbox.
Okay. Sounds good. I know right now you guys are probably strapped for stock coming up soon, but what do you think you guys are going to have a decent amount of stock around Christmas time?
More than likely, yeah. They might be a little hard to find, so I wouldn't wait until Christmas or like probably just the beginning of December is when I would look around, or late November, whichever one. The Xbox comes out on the 10th, and the PS5 comes out on the 12th of this month.
Okay, cool. And do you think I have an old Xbox One and an old PS4? It's been a while since I've played them, but do you guys have any like trade-in deals to trade up my console to the new one?
Yeah, depending on how good the quality is and everything, if there's no like physical damage or if it's not dirty or anything like that, and depending on how much gigabytes you have on the storage and everything, you'll get you could always get all the way up to like $300. I'm pretty sure. Obviously, depending on what you're bringing in.
Right. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Okay. That sounds good. You got any other advice towards the Xbox and PS4? Kind of like, I don't know. I know there's I can see the from the game front, but anything about the hardware, controllers, or anything that you think is
So the Xbox Series X is the most powerful console. It is, specs wise and everything like that. It's the fastest. They're pretty much the same in size. So if you're looking for the smaller console, it wouldn't matter. They're both like pretty big.
Right.
But the Xbox is it's quiet. It doesn't overheat really. The load times are insanely fast. All that type of stuff. So I think specs wise, the Xbox is better.
Okay, cool. And they're both at $500, right?
Yeah. So the Xbox Series X is $500. The PS5 is $500. The digital version of the PS5 is $400, and then the digital version of the Xbox is $300.
Okay, cool. All right, that helps me out. I appreciate your time. Hope you have a good night.
No problem. Any other questions or anything?
I think that's it for tonight. Appreciate it.
Gotcha. Have a good rest of your night, man.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
All right, so that was actually another pretty good call. I got 2 for 2 of people that are pretty nice on the phone. They're more than willing to answer these questions. And that guy, at first, I thought he was going to go towards the PS4, but he ended up being pretty unbiased and kind of gave me the rundown of both Xbox One or the Xbox Series X and the PS5. I think I just said PS4 a minute ago, but PS5 and Xbox Series X is obviously what I meant. That guy was actually pretty unbiased, kind of gave me the rundown on both, and kind of leaned towards Xbox as well. I think that was somewhat because I said I liked role-playing games. So he leaned towards Xbox versus PS5. And then obviously the Xbox is a little bit more powerful, so he went that front as well.
Thank you for calling GameStop, where we have the best selection.
All right,
and
so
deals
on to call
video
number
games,
3.
Consoles and collectibles. In an effort to ensure the safety of our guests and associates, GameStop now offers the convenience of delivery at door for orders placed online to be picked up at your local store. Want to know more? Press 1 now to speak to an associate, or check out our current specials by visiting GameStop.com.
All right, let's press 1.
Or by downloading the...
Hi, thank you for calling the GameStop on Sean Sealand. This is Kellen. How can I help you?
Hey, I'm looking to buy a console around Christmas time, and I'm looking for someone's opinion on whether I should buy an Xbox Series X or the PS5. Wondering if you could help me out.
Okay, so the thing is that it's purely based on a lot of the games that you like to play, your sort of aesthetics with, like, games, and, like, what your friends have. So if you're looking to buy it for someone, sort of find out what, like, console they're on, so that way they can play with their friends, or, like, what kind of games they like. So if they like a lot of really good first-person shooters, definitely recommend the Xbox. If they like a lot of the story-based games, open-world RPGs, the PlayStation is really good for that.
Okay. What about like the controllers? Do you think there's one controller that's going to be better than the other one?
I think the DualSense, which is for the PlayStation 5, is going to be a little bit better because it's they have a lot of really good haptic feedback on it, and it gives, you know, a little bit of weight towards the controller. So, like, if you're walking, you can sort of feel that within the controller. If your character's walking, you can sort of feel that within the controller.
Okay.
So in that sense, I think the PlayStation would be a little bit better if we're looking for, like, a really nice controller.
Okay.
It's also very sleek. It's very minimalistic, which is a lot of people's aesthetic is liking the minimalistic look to things.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. I know right now you guys are probably low on stock since it's just coming out around the next week or so. But do you think you're gonna have more stock around Christmas time?
They probably might have a second round by then. I'm not too sure. It's really all dependent on what Sony sends us.
Okay.
But definitely I would call around the GameStops and just see who has stock of what at that point.
Okay. Are you guys planning to have stock like on release day in the store?
I have no idea.
Okay, gotcha.
I have no idea. We won't know until we get all of the stock in. If you're looking at that, probably call day of or day before, and we can let you know if we're going to have any extras.
Okay, gotcha. Do you know if you're gonna have any kind of trade-in deals where you trade up like an old console for the new console?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't know how. I think if you get more on your old console, you get more trade-in for when you trade it in towards the new gen, but I'm not too sure.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I think that helps me out. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a great one.
All right, you too.
Bye. Bye-bye.
All right, so that was another pretty nice GameStop employee. I will say 3 out of 3, but all 3 of these employees were pretty nice and willing to help out. I would say that conversation probably wasn't quite as productive. I think she kind of got the hint that I was buying it for somebody else just because I kind of came in clueless to the conversation, which is understandable. It makes sense. If I don't know anything about it, then that's usually what's happening. You're buying the console for somebody else and trying to figure out which one you should buy. But she recommended the X. She kind of went both ways. She said Xbox if you like first-person shooters, and that's kind of where it stopped at. But then she recommended the PS5 controller because I just decided to ask about the controller specifically, and she recommended the PS5 controller. So I think she was pretty unbiased as well, so I'm pretty pleased with that. All right, guys, so there you have it. I think all those conversations actually went pretty well. All of them seemed to end up fairly unbiased. I think it's funny how each person, when you first ask them, you can pretty quickly tell which console they lean towards. Like the very first person just straight up said, I'm more of an Xbox person. The other people kind of leaned towards one console with their first description, and then they kind of went back and brought up the pros and cons of the other console as well. So I think overall they all did a pretty good job of staying unbiased and kind of recommending a console based on what you like. But it is kind of funny that you can see their bias in the very beginning of the conversation, just because they usually either lean towards the PS5 or towards the Xbox right at the beginning. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and leave a comment down below. And let me know if you're getting an Xbox Series X or if you're getting a PS5. Definitely let me know down in the comments. Hope all you guys can get one on launch day. I hope I can get an Xbox. I am buying both consoles, so I'm not really biased towards one or the other right now. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.